In this video, I'll be talking about the false impression that if we spend an equal amount of time at work and with our family, this will give us a work-life balance. I know that time is the most important resource we have, but if we use it as the only factor that contributes to creating the work-life balance, in reality it can make us less productive and less fulfilled. By the end of this video, you'll get a new perspective about work-life balance that can help you create a career and life that really fulfills you. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time we meet, my name is Theodora and I'm here to guide you as much as possible to improve your time and stress management at work by sharing lessons learned from my own experiences. So let's discuss about the work-life concept. When I heard it for the first time, to be honest, I thought that if I spend an equal amount of time at work and with my family, this will actually give me a work-life balance. And I couldn't be more wrong. If you Google work-life balance, you'll find a bunch of articles talking about it. And some of them are, for example, 25 ways to achieve work-life balance and its benefits, 6 tips for better work-life balance, work-life balance, how to improve your work-life balance today, how to have a good work-life balance. There are also multiple definitions about work-life balance on the internet, and the first one is from an online dictionary which says that work-life balance is the amount of time you spend doing your job compared with the amount of time you spend with your family and doing the things you enjoy. Another definition is work-life balance is a term used to describe how workers distribute their time between professional and personal obligations. Or another definition is a healthy work-life balance protects your health, which means you'll take fewer sick days and have more energy for your activities. Now let's talk a bit about these definitions. These definitions use time as the only factor to compare the work-life balance that you have to create for yourself. But the reality is different, because if you have a 9-to-5 job and after 8 hours of working you get exhausted, and when you come home you barely have energy to spend with your family, then even if you spend the same amount of time at work and with your family, the quality of that time is totally different. When you think about balance in general, you practically have a left pole and a right pole. And then one goes up and the other one down. And then you have this constant movement. Now think about this stick, that this represents your work-life balance. And you have your work on the left side and then you have your life on the right side. And whenever you try to add something at work or life, the stick moves up and down, and then you have this movement. Now, in order to keep this stick in balance, practically to have the work-life balance, you practically need to make sure that you don't add anything at work and in your life. And whenever you do that, practically you are restricting yourself from growing in both areas. Because whenever you try to grow in one area, the other area gets unbalanced. Let's say that if you try to learn a new skill at work that requires a more amount of time, then you add more time investing at work and less time investing in your life. And then practically you incline the balance more towards work and less towards life. And then you will have it like this. And the same thing applies when you try to add something in your life. Let's say you want to spend more time with your family and you want to spend less time and consume less energy at work. Then you add more on the right side than you add on the left side. And again, you don't keep the two in balance. Because when you try to keep the two in balance, you practically restrict yourself to make any movements on any of the sides. And now imagine yourself that you are constantly running from the right side to the left side, from your life to your work, and from your work to your life, and then back and forth. And the more time you spend running from one pole to another, at some point you will get exhausted. So let's try to forget about this work-life concept for a bit. And now what I would like you is to bring this work-life together. Having them together practically means to create a new habit. Being fulfilled at work and being fulfilled in your personal life is nothing more than a new habit that you have to create. And in order to create that new habit, first you need to realize that something needs to be changed. Then you need to identify what needs to be changed. Then know how you can change it. And of course you need to change it. And then the last one is to stick with the new change. Now let's take an example and go through each step. So the first one is to realize that something needs to be changed. As an example can be if I notice that I have a lot of work to do and by the end of the working day when I go home I barely have any energy to spend with my family, this is something that I can start questioning about. Now the second step is to identify what needs to be changed. So I realize that I'm exhausted because I have a lot of work to do. And then when I think about it, it can be because I say yes to most of the things. Whenever there is a new task or a new request, I don't know how to say no. Then the third step is how you can change it. In this example can be that I learn how to set boundaries or to communicate my expectations or my limitations better. Now that I know how I can change it, I need to take action. And maybe for this example, an action that I can take is that next time when I receive a new task, if I already have a heavy schedule, I learn to say no and maybe delegate the task to someone else. Now the last step is to stick with it. And for this example can be to not make any exceptions. Because if I make an exception, it's more likely for me to make another exception and then another exception, and then I'll go back to the old habit that I had. Now, looking at my answers and analyzing them, I already identified 3 areas of improvement. One of them is to learn how to set better boundaries, improve my communication skills, and know how to delegate. So we previously identified that there are 3 areas that we can improve. One of them was communication, then setting boundaries, and then delegating tasks. I'll take as an example the communication, and then you can follow the same process for setting boundaries or delegating tasks. I'll be sharing with you one of my favorite exercises. I'm using this one to create goals, New Year resolutions, or whenever I want to bring multiple concepts in the same place and analyze them together. This exercise is very easy to follow. You practically draw a wheel and then you can split it in as many areas as you want. In this case, I split it in 2 areas because we have work and life. But you can think about this wheel like a pizza and then you can slice it as you want. When it comes to this wheel, practically what I'll be doing, I'll try to find benefits in both area, work and life, when it comes to communication. So how can communication help me at work? So let's say if you are working in a team, communication can help you avoid conflicts. At the same time, if you get into a conflict, communication can help you to solve a conflict. It can make you easier to communicate your ideas, can help you to improve relationships. And then you can write here as many benefits as you can think about them. And this can be an ongoing process. You can have this list near you, and whenever you can think about another benefit that comes to communication at work, just write it down. Now let's go to the other area, about life. How can communication help me in my personal life? So I can take some of the benefits from work, but again, you can find other benefits that are not necessarily related to work. So definitely improving my communication, I can improve my relationship with maybe my spouse, my kids, family members. I can communicate my ideas better, and so on. Now, thinking about improving your communication skills, you practically have benefits in both areas. So you just have to focus on improving the communication skills, and then you'll see benefits at work and in your personal life as well. And this is what I mean by bringing work and life together. It's trying to find something that has a common ground and can help you in both areas. And now that you know that you want to improve your communication skills, and you can see that it's gonna bring you benefits at work and in your personal life as well. Now the next question that I'd like you to answer is how you can change it, and I'll use a different color for that. So let's take work. Let's say that you maybe have a meeting next week and you want to improve your communication there. So maybe some things that you can do is to ask more questions. Can be a way to improve communication. Or you can jump in and provide your own opinion. When it comes to your personal life, on the other hand, maybe you can improve your communication by next time when you go home, maybe you share something with your spouse. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm using my instead of you because I want to make this wheel personal. I want to talk to myself. Think about this wheel like another way of journaling. You practically write down, and next time when you read it, you practically want to be connected with whatever you wrote on that wheel. And that's it. You draw a wheel, you try to find the benefits at work and life that are related to a specific skill that you want to improve. And then you try to think when you can apply this skill next time. Can be a meeting, can be when you go home and talk with your spouse, and so on. It's very important to know why you would like to improve that skill, what are the benefits in both areas, and then how you can take action to improve that skill. Now maybe you ask me, yes, but communication is something that can be easily applied at work and life. But what if I want to improve a work-related skill? How can I apply it in my personal life? And that's a very good question. So let's take another example for that. Let's say that you are a developer and one of the skills that you want to improve is to learn Python. Now, of course, it's less likely for you to go home and start creating a program using the new skill that you learned at work. So let's see how it works. So one of the benefits of learning Python maybe is that you create opportunities for you at work. You can improve your CV. I can get a bigger salary because now I have more skills. Now, when it comes to your personal life, think a little bit differently here. So if you have all these skills at work, how can these skills help you in your personal life? So if you know how to code in Python, maybe you finish a project sooner. And if you finish a project sooner, you automatically have more time for your family. Also, if you have these skills and you are working on a big project, because you already know how to code in Python, maybe the stress level is lower, and then when you go home, you have more energy for your family. So this is a very good example that the two doesn't necessarily need to be directly connected. Having one skill in an area, the same skill might not help you in the other area. But at the same time, having a skill in one area can give you other skills in the other area. And in this case, it is more time and more energy. Now, following the entire process, if you know that you want to improve your Python skills and you know what are the benefits in both areas for improving the Python skills, let's see when you can take action. If you know that there is a new project that requires Python skills, maybe next time when you go at work, maybe you spend 30 minutes learning about Python. You can make this an ongoing process. This is up to you. You know what fits best your schedule. Now, when it comes to your personal life, sometimes improving some skills on one area might not give you the immediate result in the other area. Now, because you spent 30 minutes learning Python, it doesn't mean that next time you'll have more time to spend with your family or you'll have more energy for your family. But over time, if you continue learning Python, eventually at some point, you'll be able to have more time and more energy. And this is one of the reasons why having a work-life balance, it doesn't mean that you have to constantly run between work and life. You can improve in one area and over time you'll see benefits in the other area. And the same thing applies in your personal life as well. There can be certain skills that if you improve in your personal life can be reflected at work as well. Sometimes you'll see immediate benefits in one area by improving the other areas, but there can also be situations like this one where maybe it takes a longer period of time in order to see benefits in the other area. Now, I really hope that you enjoy this process and I really recommend to apply it in any other situation that you'd like. As I mentioned before, I'm using it to create goals, to create New Year resolutions, or whenever there are multiple concepts and I don't see the big picture and I'm trying to bring them together. The biggest benefit of keeping work and life together, it is that if you have a bad day in one of the areas, overall you are satisfied because you are able to improve. In conclusion, work-life balance, it doesn't mean that you have to spend an equal amount of time at work and with your family in order to create it in your life. The reality is that you'll be more fulfilled if you keep them together and you intentionally try to improve both of them. Sometimes you'll improve in one area more than in another area, but it's very important to keep them together because over time you'll see benefits in the other area as well. And that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below what stood out for you the most. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you got some value from it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. All the best and I'll see you soon.